Howdy everyone, sorry for the long wait between this and the last part of the retrospective. I had a few other projects that I really needed to finish up first, and unfortunately that meant this video kept getting delayed. Since I'm back, I don't really want to keep you guys waiting any longer, so let's dive into a game that I'm pretty sure doesn't need much of an introduction or an intro. You guys all know what Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is, so let's dive right in.
The first Sonic the Hedgehog made the character and console a household name, selling over 15 million copies on the Genesis alone. Yuji Naka, shortly after the release of the first Sonic game, would end up leaving Sega of Japan over a salary dispute, feeling that he deserved more credit for the success of Sonic. Over in America, Mark Cerny of PlayStation fame was working on forming a subset of Sega. The goal of this group was to unite both American and Japanese game philosophies. This would come to be known as the Sega Technical Institute, or STI. Cerny would learn of Naka's departure from Sega of Japan. He would meet with Naka at his apartment and offer him a higher pay and more creative control. Hirokazu Yasuhara would join Naka, and the two would move to California to join STI. The other members of the original Sonic team, including Naoto Oshima, chose to stay in Japan, and would go on to make Sonic CD. With the team formed, they put together a pitch to present to Sega. Surprisingly, Sega declined the pitch, citing it was too soon for a sequel to Sonic. Guess once that holiday cash started flowing and Sega backtracked hard and demanded STI to immediately start work on the next Sonic game. The catch was that they wanted it by holiday in 1992. Only issue with that is that this decision came 2 months after the initial pitch. STI had only 9 months to make Sonic 2.
This starts a concerning trend for the development process of future Sonic games, but we'll get there when we get there. Oh, we'll get there.
Issues immediately began when the Japanese and American devs would butt heads over conflicting ideas. What didn't help was the massive language barrier and work ethics difference between the American and Japanese developers. Plenty of ideas for the setting of the game were tossed around. Originally it was going to be set again on South Island and have a time travel storyline similar to what was in Sonic CD. This was scrapped because of the scope of the game being too big for the small amount of time the team had. Scrap with the time travel idea was an absolute swath of zones. The most notable ones were a jungle zone called Wood, a desert zone called Dust Hill, and a city zone called Genocide City. Holy shit.
The Japanese team members did not know what that word meant in English.
Lastly but not least was the Hidden Palace. This zone was almost completely finished, but was scrapped at last minute because of severe time constraints near the end of development. $10 million were spent on advertising the game, Jesus Christ, that's overkill, set to launch worldwide on what Sega dubbed Sonic Tuesday. November 24th, 1992, Sonic 2 would release to critical acclaim, becoming an instant classic and bestseller for the Sega Genesis.
Sorry for the sudden setup change, I'm recording this bit on a different day, but with the history out of the way, let's dive into the game itself.
The story of Sonic 2 has a bit more to offer than Sonic 1. Sonic, eager for adventure, hops into his biplane, the Tornado. After traveling around for a bit, Sonic lands on West Side Island. Joining Sonic is West Side Island resident, a young fox cub named Miles Prower, or commonly known by his nickname Tails. A nickname given to him by his peers as a joke because of the kid's genetic mutation. Sonic met the fox a little while after arriving on the island. Inspired by Sonic's speed, Tails used his 2 tails like helicopter blades and started following Sonic around. Surprised by Tails' ability to keep up with him, he thought it was cool company, and the two would become very fast friends. But all isn't right. After his humiliating defeat on South Island, Dr. Eggman has managed to discover a mysterious 7th Chaos Emerald also on West Side Island. Up to his old tricks, Dr. Eggman traps the critters of the island inside of his new fleet of deadlier badniks, and aims to collect the now 7 emeralds to power his new high-tech, copyright-infringing battle station, the Death Egg.
Totally different.
Gameplay-wise, it's just as fun as the first game, with some new additions. Probably the most notable one is the introduction of Sonic's best buddy, Tails. Tails rocks. He's a mechanical genius, ace pilot, and he can even use those 2 tails of his to fucking fly.
Ha! Take that, Luigi.
Unfortunately, Tails doesn't have access to his flight during gameplay yet. Only the AI can. The player wouldn't be able to use his flight until Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Sonic's seen a bit of an upgrade from the last game. He can still run, jump, collect rings, and roll down slopes to gain speed, but in between games, Sonic has learned a new skill. By holding down the D-pad and mashing the face buttons, Sonic will rev up into a ball and perform the supersonic spin dash, giving him an instant burst of speed. Now, personally, I do think this de-emphasizes the role just a bit, but overall is a great addition. Now onto the topic of zones, there are now 2 acts per zone instead of 3, thank fucking god. Emerald Hill is our first zone. It's pretty much Green Hill, but with the saturation turned up way too fucking high. It's a great start to the game. Love the corkscrews, it's always a spectacle to see Sonic just fucking fly through these. Located throughout the zone and the rest of the game are returning item monitors, shields, invincibility, and the speed shoes, which were really rare in Sonic 1 now that I think about it. Like in the last video, I'm not going to go too much into the bosses, but the boss here is even easier than the ball and chain from the last game. How? I have no idea. You'll notice pretty quickly that a returning star post will now appear in strange locations throughout the zone and the entire game. That's because of how special stages are handled this time around, and... okay. Instead of collecting 50 rings and jumping into a giant ring at the end of the stage, now you need to collect 50 rings and reach a star post. A ring of stars will flash above the star post where you need to jump in, and then you'll be sent to the special stage. Sonic 2 is the first game to use the infamous half-pipe. The goal of the special stage is to collect rings throughout the half-pipe to meet the ring quotas at the ring gates, and dodge bombs. The depth perception is shit, and leaves the bombs and rings flying on screen faster than you can breathe. While it's impressive for the hardware, the memorization trial and error based design just doesn't work on the Genesis and can just fuck off. I didn't even bother to collect them on my playthrough for the Genesis. They're vastly better than the 2013 remake. The draw distance has been increased, they're now in full 3D, so getting the Chaos Emeralds is now smooth. It makes these frustrating special stages into an actual fun challenge. The best thing about Emerald Hill? There are 8 star posts across both acts, meaning you can obtain all 7 emeralds before even stepping foot in Zone 2. Once obtaining all 7 emeralds, Sonic gains his own form of copyright infringing powers. If Sonic collects 50 rings and jumps, Sonic will transform into the Golden Super Sonic, a total not rip-off of the Super Saiyan form from Dragon Ball. This form makes Sonic completely invulnerable to all enemy attacks. The only thing that can stop him is being crushed bottomless pits and drowning. Super Sonic is the ultimate reward, and worth suffering through the god-awful special stages to unlock him.
Sorry, got heavily sidetracked. Let's take a look at the rest of the zones.
Chemical Plant. This zone's been so overused, but I think its original incarnation still has some value. Fuck me, the speed you can get here is insane. The slopes are so steep that Sonic can get enough speed to outrun the fucking camera. I'm sure everyone's died to this part in Act 2, with the moving blocks and the rising water, but did you know that there is an extremely easy shortcut that lets you skip this section entirely? During one of the loop sections, if you launch yourself off this slope and hold right, just jump over these blocks and this dash pad, then spin dash jump from this ramp, and boom, the entire segment skipped. I really like Chemical Plant, but it does start a concerning trend I think a lot of classic Sonic stages tend to suffer from, and that's kind of feeling like a maze or a clusterfuck of paths. These tubes can also just fuck off. The path you take in these is determined by if the last digit of the timer is an odd or even number. How the fuck is anyone supposed to know that? Aquatic Ruin, my second favorite level in this game. Gotta love the scenic ruins and the use of foliage. It's the only dedicated water level in Sonic 2, and unlike the shit stain that was Labyrinth, practice good platforming and you'll never even touch the water. Love the feeling the zone invokes, running through the tricky upper route, cutting through the leaves and dodging arrows, it's awesome. But it's held back in the Genesis version by an ugly returning issue from Sonic 1, the camera. There are some really cheap enemy placements in Aquatic Ruin that are just dickish given how limited the camera is, most infamously the grounders that will bust out of the wall. I don't usually have an issue with these since I'm pretty much always in ball form when I'm playing these games, but still, it's a pretty nasty beginner's trap. They should have made the camera pan. Casino Night.
Okay, get your pitchforks ready.
I do not care for Casino Night. The aesthetics is nice, and I like some of the gimmicks.
Truth be told, I never liked the casino levels in Sonic games.
Being thrown up and down and all around by all these bumpers, bounce pads, and flippers, just no thank you, just make it stop. The game also just likes to bug out here for some reason. Hilltop. Another one of my favorites. It's really vertical as it takes place high up in a mountain range, and guess the devs really liked Emerald Hill though, because this reuses the same tile set here, just blue. Gimmicks are fun, love the trolleys you can ride, and the seesaws returning from Sonic 1's Starlight Zone is put to good use for finding hidden pathways and secrets. Overall, great zone, not much else to say. Mystic Cave. Yeah, not even gonna beat around the bush, this is my favorite zone in Sonic 2. First off, the music's great. Hell, To go on a quick side tangent, returning to compose the music for this game is Masato Nakamura of Dreams Come True, and he knocked it out of the park. I don't think there is one track in this game that I don't bob my head to. It's all fantastic. Some of my favorites are... Anyways, back on topic to the zone itself, the level layout of Mystic Cave is structured a bit like a dungeon. It's expansive, but not confusing. There's lots of nooks and crannies of secrets to find and traps to dodge. Personally, I think it's the best stage to explore and mixes speed and platforming so beautifully. And I could just not mention the infamous shit pit. I'm assuming everyone who's ever played this game has fallen down here at least once. It's even worse if you've fallen here with Supersonic. Everyone's seen that Sonic short. Don't lie to me, you have. Oil Ocean, not too much to say, a bit boring at best and frustrating at worst. The visuals are nice, and the music, while not really fitting, is also nice. The enemies here suck, namely the seahorses that will for some reason fucking chase you like goddamn Hammer Brothers. Metropolis. Scrap Brain's revenge. It's confusing, filled to bursting with traps, and probably houses the cheapest enemies I've ever seen in a video game. Metropolis' unholy trinity, the Asteron, Shellcrackers, and the fucking Slicers. These guys suck dick. They're always placed in the worst spots, half the time being under a low ceiling so you can't even hit them. Their hitboxes are jank, and so good fucking luck getting a special stage. This place is massive. You know what? A bit too massive. To this day, I still can't memorize the layout of this fucking place. I always get lost. Ugh, good god, it feels like this place goes on forever. Fucking backwards ass difficulty, man. They'll introduce something like these spinning cog elevators and then they'll put some spikes at the top of the shaft, but then later sections will somehow be easier? What the fuck logic is that? Oh my god, just let me out of here!
Where's the boss?
Okay, it's not as bad as Labyrinth Zone Act 4, but I hope to god you don't game over here because just like Sonic 1, this game doesn't have a save feature. I mean, if you run out of lives and continues, that's game over, and you gotta replay the game all over again. This came out in 1992. There's no excuse for why this game doesn't at the least have a password system. Anyways, at the very least, Metropolis' boss is alright, even if it's the first appearance of the classic Sonic Spinning Orb boss. Sky Chase. Pretty boring. You ride atop the tornado and dodge enemies for about 2 minutes before moving on. Wing Fortress. The penultimate zone of Sonic 2. The zone starts with a cutscene of the tornado being shot down and Sonic boarding the fortress. This sounds alright. Way less frustrating than Metropolis and Scrap Brain combined. Probably features the most tricky platforming in the whole game though. The boss here is frustrating because of these stupid spiked spinning platforms you have to jump on / avoid to hit the top of the laser. I've lost a lot of lives here, it's kind of embarrassing. After defeating the boss, the good doctor uses his space shuttle to escape to his newly constructed Death Egg. With the help of Tails, Sonic is able to board the battle station and have one last showdown with Dr. Eggman. Death Egg. This is probably the most infamous part of the game, mainly because of the two bosses you fight here. There are no rings, so avoiding damage is vital to survival. Mecha Sonic's pretty simple once you get his attack pattern down. A fun fact, you can get 4 hits when he's coming down in the opening by positioning yourself just right and revving up a spin dash. Just remember to let go of the spin dash before Mecha Sonic curls into a ball himself. After defeating Mecha Sonic, Dr. Eggman I guess collects his Speed Shoot power-up because he's somehow able to outrun Sonic and reach his latest and greatest creation, the Death Egg Robot. The Death Egg Robot can be absolutely nerve-wracking. It's so easy to die here, and I get why people hate this boss. He isn't too tough once you get down his pattern, but fuck me, good luck not getting a few game overs. If you manage to defeat him, the Death Egg will start to self-destruct, with Sonic narrowly escaping. Tails, seeing his friend in danger, takes the disguise to rescue Sonic. But with that ends Sonic the Hedgehog 2. If you plan on playing Sonic 2 officially, again, I'd like to point you in the direction of the 2013 mobile version, or Sonic Origins. If you forever wish to play the Genesis version, I can't recommend enough tracking down original hardware. I feel like it plays more smoothly on original hardware than emulation. But with that, what are my final verdicts on Sonic 2? Sonic the Hedgehog 2 improves on almost everything from the first Sonic game, balancing out speed, platforming, and exploration a lot better. While I think there were some places where Sonic 1 did better, like secrets and less confusing stages in some cases, almost everything else has been drastically improved. The game isn't perfect, the endgame can drag, and the final boss can be a brutal test of patience with its trial and error design. The poor camera can lead to visibility issues, and the lack of a save feature and limited continues are inexcusable, but these issues, in my opinion, are small blemishes on a fantastic, almost perfect game. Overall, I give Sonic the Hedgehog 2 a 9 out of 10, and with that, ends the review.
Hey, you made it to the end of the review. Sorry for the sudden setup change. Again, I'm recording this months after I recorded everything else with this video. I'm also recording this at like 5 in the morning, so I gotta keep my voice down. But yeah, this is end of the Sonic 2 video. Whoopee, I finally got it out after almost a year. 9 months to be exactly. That's how long it took. Which is actually how long it took to make the real Sonic 2. So I guess there's that. But if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching all the way through. You know, I really appreciate it. For the next video, I'm not gonna be doing Sonic CD like I probably should be. I'm sorry, I'm very scatterbrained doing this part without script. I'm gonna be doing a video with my friends on Ninjago, or at least the Ninjago pilots. So yeah, that should be hopefully come out around April. I put that in my announcement video, upload right before uploading this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in that Ninjago video.